Hey friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothes, I list them on eBay and Poshmark, and hopefully sell them for a profit. Today, I'm going to share with you all of my numbers, my profit from June of 2025. It is currently July 2nd, I think. Is that right? Yeah, the 2nd already. I can't believe it's July. It's crazy, but I did make some money. I did not work much, and we'll talk about that. So just to give you a little bit of perspective, like I said, I'm a part-time reseller. This is not my full-time job. My husband works full-time. I'm not paying the mortgage. I'm not feeding my family with this money. This is extra money for us. It's important money, but it is extra. So it pays for things like dance lessons and piano lessons and soccer fees and all of those things that goes along with, just having a family. I have 4 children and life, right? So I mostly sell clothes, mostly women's clothes. My top categories were tops for women, dresses, button downs for men, t-shirts for men, and skirts, which I would assume are for women, but maybe not, I don't know. My top brands this month were Vintage, Soma. I actually sold quite a few like bras and pajamas in that brand. Aerie, which is kind of funny because Aerie's not like a high money brand for me at all. Carhartt, and then Chico's, which is also funny because I keep saying I don't want to buy any more Chico's, but I keep buying Chico's. Anyway, 64% of my sales were on eBay. That's where I primarily sell. I also sell on Poshmark, and that's about 30% of my sales. And then I also sell on Depop, and that's about 6% of my sales. So I sold 70 items in June. I listed 103 items, which is kind of low because I'm trying now to list 10 items a day. But I took from the 19th through the 30th pretty much completely off. Starting on the 27th, I was delisting and relisting a few things, about 30 things every day, but that was just 4 days. Today, I did list new items on eBay, which is very good. I feel like, actually, I was thinking, oh, it's the 1st of July. I should do this, but it's the 2nd. It's the 2nd. So, yeah, I sold 70 items. My average sale price was $23.77, which was down about about $1 from last month, which would have been May. So my gross sales amount was $1,664.02. Now, I don't get to keep all that money, unfortunately. So I do have to take out shipping cost and fees for all the platforms, and then also my cost of goods. And that brings that number down to $974.29. Now, that's about half, actually a little less than half of what my goal normally is. And I try to make about $2,000 a month most of that goes into my family's budget. Some of it gets put back into my business with shipping supplies, with office supplies, with inventory is the biggest cost of there. Also subscription fees. We'll talk about some of those as well. And then some of that money does get saved for paying taxes at the end of the year because this is taxable income. All income is taxable. But I feel like I need to say that because I think that sometimes people think, oh, I'm just selling stuff on the side and I don't have to report that, but it does get reported. So, what was I going to tell you? Okay. So of that $974.29, I still don't get to keep all of that. I pay for some subscriptions on the regular basis, and eBay is the biggest one. It's $60 a month. I actually, because of the size of my closet now, I could probably go down a little bit. I guess it's a store on eBay, closet on Poshmark. It gets all confusing. But because of how I set it up when I went to a bigger store on eBay, I can't. I have to pay for this level that I'm at, which is $60 a month. I pay for Prime Lister, which is what I use to to share my items on Poshmark and also to send offers on Poshmark. That it does it automatically. And I pay $25 a month for that. I also pay for Vendu, which is what I use to cross list. And this is also where I get most of my information, the information that I've already shared with you, how much money I made, the percentages, and my top categories and all of that. So my subscriptions all together cost $110, and that's just part of it. Kind of the cost of doing business, so to speak. I did not have other major purchases as far as like shipping supplies, office supplies. I didn't buy anything like that this month. I have in the past, I will in the future, but this particular month I did not. I did buy a little tiny bit of inventory. One of the things I did this month was I went on a business trip with my husband. He was in a conference and I took that time to go thrifting. And so I spent a total of $153.64. Now, I do count my cost of goods twice in this video because it's not impossible, but it would be a lot of work for me to go through and extract all of those numbers from each of those 70 items that sold. And I just choose to not do that. So I do count that cost of goods twice in this video. I don't when it comes to taxes. Like, I'm honest about what I'm actually spending on cost of goods for my taxes. If you have tax questions, my biggest advice is to talk to your accountant or your tax preparer, your tax specialist. I don't even know what all they are called, but I have a woman who is great. She helps me. She walks me through things. She's super helpful. I do have to pay for that, but in my opinion, it's totally worth it. So after I take out my inventory purchases that I made in June, as well as my subscription purchases that I made, my net profit is $710.65. So pretty low, not super great, but I was home a total of 6 days in June. So most of my time was spent in other areas. If you're interested, I went to a church camp the first week. I went on that trip with my husband the second week, and then I was on another trip kind of adventuring with some high schoolers for their it's a camp experience thing that we do with our church. So it was a lot. I also took the last 2 days and just went hiking with my husband and spent some time, just the two of us. It was lovely. So it was a busy month, and there was a lot going on. There was not a lot going on as far as my business. I was not putting a lot of time, a lot of effort into those things. The first half of the month, I was still listing consistently. Maybe not as consistently as I want to, but probably at least every other day. But starting the 18th, I just stopped completely. I also 3 different times had my stores on vacation mode. The first 2 weeks of June, I just put eBay on vacation mode and then just messaged people who bought early on Depop or Poshmark. And then the second half of the month, I put all of my stores on vacation mode. And on Poshmark and Depop, that means you can't make any sales at all. On eBay, if you do put your store on vacation mode, you can choose to accept sales or not, and I do. However, I think that vacation mode does put a damper on things as far as purchases. I know from me, if I'm buying things and I see that something's not going to get shipped for another 10 days, I'm probably going to look for something else that's going to be shipped to me a little faster, unless I just don't notice it. And that did happen, unfortunately, with someone who bought something from me, they kind of messaged me like, hey, this was supposed to be shipped in 2 days and it's been more than 2 days. And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, I am on vacation and I won't be able to ship it until such and such. I actually did get it out about 2 days earlier than I had to, but I still, I feel bad when I have to have those conversations, even though it says on the top of all of my listings, this seller is away until. Not everybody sees those, even though I think it's pretty obvious when I don't know. Anyway, usually I like to break down my numbers even further and take that $7.10 and $710.65 and break that down to how much I spent per hour. But because June was so inconsistent, I just feel like, one, it's not going to be very much anyway, but also it's really hard for me to kind of guess how many hours I actually worked this month. And I actually don't really keep track of it, which maybe I should, but I don't. I do a pretty good estimate on a regular basis when it's like a normal, give me just a second, when it's just like a normal everyday month. But this time around, I just didn't. So if you're disappointed that I didn't share those numbers with you, I'm sorry, but hopefully next month when I do a July wrap up, we will have those numbers a little better, and hopefully they'll be a little higher because, like I said already, I'm listing items, new items into my stores to hopefully get some life into them. My littlest helper said he has the question of the day. What's the question of the day, bud? How many miles have you walked? What's the longest? Is that what you want to know? The longest walk? Okay. What's the longest walk you've ever taken? How many miles have you walked? Like 2 miles? Yeah, you've definitely done 2 miles. You probably have done more, like hiking. How about you, my second littlest helper?
Probably 3 or 4.
Probably 3 or 4? Yeah. Actually, when you were a little bit younger, we did an 8-mile hike. I was still carrying the littlest helper, so he didn't actually walk that, but you walked some of it. I think I was still carrying you too. Not both at the same time. All right.
I'm on chapter 9.
You're on chapter 9. That's great. Okay. You can have a popsicle. All right. Summer fun. Popsicles and books and reading and walks and hikes. It's great. All right. Oh, pick those up, please. I'm gonna go because it's about to get real. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you enjoy reseller content. I usually do a ship with me video where I chronicle what I actually sell, and I usually share every single sale with you here. So thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you soon.